Since I've already explained a few things about relation, let me just talk about a few more things so that I can explain some of the things written in the NCERT. Now, let us say that we have a set A which is 1 comma 2, and there is a relation R here which contains two ordered pairs 1 comma 1 and 2 comma 2. Now, if I write R in this way, this is known as roster method of writing R, or we can also say this is the list method because we are listing down all the ordered pairs. This way of writing is the roster method or the list method. Now, I can also write in another manner. I can write R as the set of all x, y such that x comma y belong to A and x is equal to y. If I write R in this manner, it will give me only these two ordered pairs which we got in the previous relation. But if I write R in this manner, this is known as the set builder method of writing a relation. We had already done this in 11th standard. So this is known as the set builder method of writing the relation. Now there is one more way of writing a relation. We can also write like this: A is related to B. We write A or B if and only if A is equal to B. Now if I write in this manner, this is another new notation. This notation is also sometimes used in the textbook. So therefore, if I write something like this, A is related to B if and only if A is equal to B, then what does this give me? This will give me the same set R with the two elements 1 comma 1 and 2 comma 2. So there are three methods of writing a particular relation. Now let us go back to the NCERT here. Let us see a few more things from there. Now as I had already explained you these three things, these are written here. You can see over here they have written the roster method, the set builder method, and this is the third way of expressing A is related to B. Now they have given another thing here which is definition 3 of reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Now they are saying that a relation R in a set A is called reflexive if A comma A belongs to R for every A belonging to A. Now what does this mean? Let us go back here to the relation which I had written. Now I had written here 1 comma 1 and 2 comma 2. So if you see over here, the first element and the second element, if we see here, the first element and the second element, both of them are the same. So if a relation contains all such ordered pairs in which the first element and the second element both are same, then we can say that any element is related to itself, and therefore such a relation is known as reflexive relation. Suppose this set was not 1 2, but this set was like this: A is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3. Now if R contained only 1 comma 1 and 2 comma 2, then the set R will not said to be reflexive. R will be reflexive if it contains 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2 and 3 comma 3. It should contain all the ordered pairs such that every element of A is connected to itself, and that is what is the definition of reflexivity. Let us see over here. We can see here that it says that it is reflexive if A comma A belongs to R for every A belonging to A. So for every A belonging to A comma A should belong to the relation. If the set A is 1 2 3 4, then 1 comma 1 2 comma 2 3 comma 3 and 4 comma 4 must belong to the relation for the relation to be reflexive. Now it does not mean that any other ordered pair cannot belong to this. For example, if we have 1 comma 1 2 comma 2 3 comma 3, and we also have in this 1 comma 3 and we have 2 comma 3, so this is also a reflexive relation. Why is this a reflexive relation? Because it contains these three things: 1 comma 1 2 comma 2 3 comma 3. You have to just check that all elements of A should be related to themselves. If apart from that any other thing is also occurring, then it does not matter, the relation is always reflexive relation. So that is the definition of a reflexive relation. Let us now see the second one here. Second is symmetric. So for a relation to be symmetric, as we know, symmetry means one thing with respect to another thing. If we invert both of them, then we get the same result with respect to two things. Now here they are saying a relation is symmetric if a1 comma a2 belongs to R, implies that a2 comma a1 also belongs to R for all a1 a2 belonging to A. As we can see over here, a1 a2 belonging to R implies that a2 comma a1 also belongs to R for all a1 a2 belonging to A. So let us just see another example of this here. Let us see the example here. Let us say that A is 1 comma 2. Now if R is a relation such that it contains 1 comma 2, it contains 1 comma 1, and it does not contain any other ordered pair, then this relation is not a symmetric relation. Why? Because if we invert 1 comma 1, we will get 1 comma 1 only, it is belonging here. But if we invert 1 comma 2, we are getting 2 comma 1, which is not belonging to this relation. Therefore this relation is not a symmetric relation. For this relation to be symmetric, we should have 1 comma 2, we should have 2 comma 1, and we should have 1 comma 1. That is how we can say that this relation is a symmetric relation. For relation to be symmetric, for every a comma b belonging to R, b comma a should also belong to R, otherwise the relation will not be symmetric. So here this was an example of symmetric relation. Now let us go back to the third category. Now here third category is transitive. So let us see when will a relation be called as transitive. Now transitivity property I had already explained earlier in 11th standard, so it is just like the transitive property. Now here they say that a relation R will be transitive if a1 comma a2 belonging to R, a2 comma a3 also belonging to R, implies that a1 comma a3 will belong to R for all a1 a2 a3 belonging to A. So let us see an example of this also. Let us see here the transitivity property. Let us say that R is 1 2, let us say that A is 1 2 3. So here we say that A is 1 2 3, and let us say that there is a relation R such that 1 comma 2 belongs to this and 2 comma 3 belongs to this. Now is the relation transitive? The answer is no. Why? Because we see here a1 a2, this is a2 a3, but here a1 comma a3 is not belonging to the relation. A1 comma a3 means 1 comma 3. If 1 comma 3 is not belonging to this relation, then this relation is not transitive. For this relation to be transitive, we should have 1 comma 2, we should have 2 comma 3, and we should also have 1 comma 3 belonging to the relation. Then only this relation R will be transitive. If the relation is symmetric, reflexive and transitive, all three of them, if it satisfies all the three properties, then such a relation is known as equivalence relation. Equivalence relation is a relation which is reflexive, symmetric as well as transitive. Now here there are many examples of equivalence relation given in the textbook. So let us just take one example from the textbook here. Now this is definition number 4 which I just talked about. A relation R in a set A is said to be equivalence relation if R is reflexive, symmetric and transitive. They have given example here, so let us take this example. Let T be the set of all triangles in a plane with R. A relation in T given by R is equal to T1 comma T2, where T1 is congruent to T2. Show that R is an equivalence relation. Now how do we show that this is an equivalence relation? We have to first show that it is reflexive. Now why it is reflexive? Because every triangle is congruent to itself. For all T1 belonging to R, T1 comma T1 will belong to R. Therefore we can say that relation R is reflexive. Now we also know that T1 comma T2 belonging to R means that T1 is congruent to T2. Now if T1 is congruent to T2, that will also mean that T2 is congruent to T1. Why? Because we know that if a triangle is congruent to another triangle, both of them are same with respect to everything, their angles, sides, everything is going to be same. So therefore if T1 is congruent to T2, then T2 is also congruent to T1, and therefore T2 comma T1 will belong to R, and therefore R is symmetric also. That means if first triangle is congruent to the second triangle, then second triangle will also be congruent to the first triangle, and therefore the relation is symmetric. Now if we need to prove that the relation is transitive, then again we go over here, we say that if T1 comma T2 belong to R, T2 comma T3 also belong to R, then what does that mean? T1 comma T2 belong to R. Now we are seeing here T1 comma T2 belong to R, that means T1 is congruent to T2. And if we see here T2 comma T3 belong to R, that means that T2 is congruent to T3. That means the first triangle is congruent to the second triangle, and the second triangle is congruent to the third triangle, and that effectively means that the first triangle is congruent to the third triangle, and therefore we can say that T1 comma T3 belongs to R, and therefore R is an equivalence relation. Now using the same method, you can show that any of the relations is an equivalence relation. You have to show only the three things here: reflexive, then you have to show symmetric, and then you have to show transitive. You have to show transitive here, and if we show these three things, then you show that the relation is an equivalence relation. Now let us see another thing here, example number 3, which they have given here. Now earlier they had defined the property of congruency. Congruency was the relation, but now here the relation is of perpendicularity. Now this relation of perpendicularity, this will not be an equivalence relation. Why? Let us see why here. Because they are saying that R is not reflexive, as any line cannot be perpendicular to itself. If it is not reflexive, therefore it cannot be equivalence relation. But they are saying here that show that it is symmetric but neither reflexive nor transitive. So we have already shown that it is not reflexive because no line can be perpendicular to itself. For it to be reflexive, L1 comma L1 should belong to the relation, but that is not happening because L1 cannot be perpendicular to L1 itself. So L1 comma L1 will not belong to the relation. Now therefore this relation is not reflexive. Now let us see here whether it is symmetric. We know that if L1 comma L2 belong to R, then it means that L1 is perpendicular to L2 as per the relation, as per the definition given by the relation. If L1 comma L2 belongs to R, then L1 is perpendicular to L2. So if L1 is perpendicular to L2, then L2 will also be perpendicular to L1, and therefore L2 comma L1 will belong to R. So if L1 L2 belongs to R, then L2 comma L1 also belongs to R. Then if we combine these two statements, we know that the relation is a symmetric relation. Now the relation is not transitive. Why is it not transitive? Because if L1 is perpendicular to L2 and L2 is perpendicular to L3, then we can easily know this thing that L1 will be parallel to L3 and not perpendicular. And therefore if L1 L2 belongs to R, L2 L3 belongs to R, then L1 comma L3 will not belong to R, and therefore the relation cannot be transitive. So these are a few examples which will